What is animal communication? Animal communication is a telepathic, two-way communication that occurs between animals and between humans and animals. The word telepathy comes from the Greek words meaning distant and feeling, or perception or experience. So telepathic animal communication is a heart-to-heart and mind-to-mind communication. It goes far beyond simply looking at an animal's body language and listening to the sounds that they make. Nowadays, many animal communicators refer to animal communication under the umbrella term of interspecies communication. This is because the communication is not just limited to communication with animals, but can be done with plants, trees, and insects. As more people discover interspecies communication, we see this appear more and more in popular culture. For example, in the Disney film Encanto, the sweet Antonio receives the gift of being able to telepathically communicate with animals. At an academic level, the University of Saskatchewan in Canada is now researching intuitive interspecies communication. The university has also begun hosting international multi-species research symposiums on intuitive interspecies communication. You might be wondering, how does interspecies communication work exactly? Some people have said that we humans are like radios. We transmit and receive signals every day. Interspecies communicators tune into a particular frequency to receive information from an animal. Some interspecies communicators describe this scientifically and point out that, just like us, animals have consciousness. In quantum physics, the universal field is comprised of waves of energy that continuously interact. Through the quantum field, we are all connected and transmitting information. Hence, we are in a constant state of communication with the world around us. And on a spiritual level, telepathic communication is regarded to be a universal language. While communicating with the animals, interspecies communicators can receive information in different ways. They may see images or a movie reel within their mind's eye. Animals largely think and communicate visually. The animal may show us their environment, things and people that they are concerned about, etc. Interspecies communicators may also receive words and sounds. The type of sound can vary. For example, if an animal is unwell and having difficulty breathing, an interspecies communicator may hear the animal's labored breathing. The feelings that are conveyed with the messages are a very beautiful facet of interspecies communication. These feelings give the communication so much depth and richness and a very special quality. For example, when communicating with an animal, they often share the message of "I love you" to their human person. They might communicate this by sending the message in words, as well as sending an image, such as love hearts, or an image of them giving their human person a flower, or giving them a hug. And there could be different feelings that are sent with this message. "I love you" could be sent with a pure, overwhelming feeling of love. Or it could be a feeling of shyness that accompanies the words "I love you." Or the message could be conveyed with an overwhelming feeling of gratitude, especially if the animal was a rescue animal. The feelings convey so much information and add so much texture to the communication. When communicating with animals, interspecies communicators may also experience flavors and smells. Receiving this information might help us to receive information about their health, their food, their water, and their environment. For example, if we smell cigarette smoke when communicating with a dog, the dog can be indicating that the cigarette smoke and residue in their home is making them sick. And if the animal is unwell, interspecies communicators will often feel the symptoms within their own bodies that correlate to where the animal is experiencing their symptoms. This could include pain, numbness or tingling sensations, hot or cold sensations, etc. Interspecies communication can be done over distance, so the person and the animal do not have to be in the same location. If we pause to think about it, we've all experienced a sort of telepathic or intuitive knowingness in our lives. We might have a feeling to pick up the phone and call a loved one who we discover is struggling in some way. Twins have often described having a unique telepathic connection to their sibling. We can also walk into a room and read the vibe without anyone in the room saying a word. We have a saying that we could cut the atmosphere with a knife, which indicates when you can feel a tension in the air. Mums will often sense if their baby or toddler needs something. These are all ways that we telepathically receive information without necessarily being aware of it or labeling it in this way. It is said that as toddlers and young children, we were able to communicate telepathically before we could communicate with words. You might have noticed that babies and children have a special connection with animals. For example, I was recently dog sitting for a family who went away on holidays. Their 2.5-year-old son told them that they should go home because one of the dogs was a bit sick. The mum called me and I verified that this was true. The dog had been sick that morning and the dogs were very obviously missing their family. On another occasion, this little boy told his mum that one of the dogs was still hungry after he had eaten. So the mum put more food into the bowl and the dog ate it with gusto. Many of us are in tune with our animals and we communicate with them subconsciously. We may know their preferences on a given day. We might notice when something is just not quite right with them. We may notice when they need a little bit more attention and love. Usually we are more in tune with them when our minds are more quiet and settled. Just like us, animals have a body, a mind, and a soul. And because they are not bound by the ongoing mental chatter that we humans experience, animals often see and feel energy, and many sense and see angels and other spiritual beings. The animals often provide us with spiritual protection, and they often take on our karma so that we suffer less and experience less health problems. And because they communicate telepathically, the animal members of our family know when something is worrying us or making us sad or excited. With the profound understanding that animals are spiritual beings just like us, many animal communicators live a vegan lifestyle. They have directly experienced the overwhelming love that animals have for us, and so are unable to eat animals, who often have a lot more wisdom, patience, and love than we do. Raising animals for agriculture is the top destroyer of our environment and the leading cause of climate change, which has killed millions upon millions of innocent animals and led to many animal species becoming extinct. Wild animals especially are very aware of the potential wide-scale demise of our planet in the next few years if we continue destroying our Earth in this way. Many interspecies communicators are also aware that we can only obtain meat and animal products by inflicting violence, torture, and brutality onto animals. We know that when an animal's beloved husband, wife, or children are taken away from them in order to be slaughtered for food, this is a traumatic experience. Animals also grieve just like we do, and they can and do feel utter despair, depression, despondency, grief, anguish, and even experience insanity due to the conditions that they are kept in before being slaughtered for food. Interspecies communicators frequently notice that by not eating meat and animal byproducts, their telepathic and psychic abilities become stronger. This happens because they stop putting dense energy from these dead animals into their bodies. If we eat dense animal foods, we also take into our bodies the energy of despair, trauma, depression, and terror that they felt during their lives and just before their death. Yet, when eating plants, we take more light energy into our bodies. Eating plants has a more peaceful energy, and so we begin to radiate more peace into the world. This also helps the animals to feel safer within our presence. Interspecies communicators assist animals and their human families in a range of ways. They relay messages from the animals, and animals often have a profound sense of gratitude and relief when their important messages are heard, especially when the information is about their human family's health, safety, and emotional well-being. The animals often tell us why they have reincarnated onto Earth and what their purpose is here. Some animal communicators also work with animal rescue organizations, conservation groups, animal rehabilitation services, and even with veterinarians. Interspecies communication is a precious skill that can be learned and developed. It is a beautiful way of communicating that is rich in texture and meaning. It is vital to recognize that animals are just like us, mind, body, and spirit. What's more, their intuitive and telepathic abilities are often far more developed than ours. Please visit my website, see the link in the description below, to learn more about animal communication and the profound messages that animals are sending to us as they urge us to care for our planet. My book, The Kindness Era: Human and Animal Perspectives, is available as a free ebook and a free audiobook. There is also a free Animal Insights course available, also in the link in the description below. This information is made freely available because the messages from the animals to humanity are especially important at this rocky time in our world. Being an interspecies communicator is like opening a door to another world that is filled with love, awe, beauty, and so many incredible spiritual insights. Each animal has a very unique personality. Through animal communication, we learn a lot from the animals about unconditional love and about being better stewards of our earth. It's no wonder that animals are often described as being our guardian angels. In so many ways, they truly are.